Good morning, Permanent Secretary, distinguished dignitaries, EIF colleagues, and participants. National trade development strategies are central to the EIF goal of improving the trade environment for sustainable and inclusive growth in the least developed countries, LDCs. They provide the critical roadmap that ensures that trade can occupy its rightful place as a driver of sustainable economic growth in LDCs. This is achieved by setting priorities, allocating resources, and triggering specific actions to boost competitiveness, build value chain, and develop new markets. The coordination of stakeholders from the public sector, the private sector, and civil society is also key. EIF has been a long-standing partner of Tuvalu since the commencement of its diagnostic trade integration studies in 2013. Tuvalu has been acutely aware of its imbalances in trade and importance of looking into avenues to counter this imbalance, which is clearly recognized by the country's national strategies for sustainable development, including the most recent one. This is a sentiment that has been echoed by all stakeholders invested in Tuvalu's development. Tuvalu's National Trade Development Strategy, which will be launched today, has provided a clear roadmap for implementing the policies and aspirations that have been voiced by Tuvalu's national strategies for sustainable development and their various stakeholders. I will proceed to mention a few highlights. Firstly, the strategy has clearly noted that Tuvalu needs to look into innovative ways to enable trade in goods, particularly agricultural exports, considering its natural resources and logistic challenges. Some potential has also been noted to exist in fisheries. Secondly, trade in services has been identified as a real potential sector for Tuvalu that can help offset the trade deficit that Tuvalu has been experiencing for decades, despite the current challenges relating to COVID-19. In the long term, rebranding Tuvalu's tourism sector with a focus on its unique offerings would be essential. Thirdly, the e-commerce sector offers tremendous potential, particularly in the COVID-19 context. Tuvalu's e-trade readiness assessment, supported by the EIF, has identified implementable actions. We are encouraged to note that these recommendations are already being implemented by the government of Tuvalu. Finally, with Tuvalu's high vulnerability to climate change, efforts to increase adaptation and mitigation will be critical. There is a call for focus beyond environmental sectors on educational and vocational skills and introduction of agricultural products that are more resilient to changing climate, and the development of innovative trade markets such as deep seabed minerals. These are some of the important points that have been highlighted in this comprehensive national trade development strategy. What also stands out is the analysis of strength, weaknesses, and opportunities of each priority sector, and the detailed action metrics for implementation up to 2026. To conclude, this strategy provides a solid basis for Tuvalu to make trade a priority and to commit itself to laying a stable foundation necessary for growth in the identified areas. This will, however, require substantial investment and concerted efforts from the government, development partners, and the private sector would be key to achieve these goals. The creation of a good regulatory framework and strategies to facilitate and encourage investment, including from the private sector, should be a top priority. Aid for trade will also be essential for Tuvalu. In addition to supporting development of priority sectors, it will also assist in setting up the framework to attract investment and alternative sources of financing, including the much needed climate finance. The EIF remains committed to accompanying Tuvalu in implementing this strategy over the coming years. I thank you for your kind attention.